Okay, this is probably going to be one of my hardest builds, and I'm quite worried about it. I've got to make some kind of a inlet manifold from here to here. Now, just to get this off and show you, that's it, 28 mil across there, right? Because remember, that's a big bore head for a 150, 160, and a small bore motor, so they've melded the two together. Anyway, there's 28 mil across there, which is the same size as the carby, so that's all good. So I have to get something across there, and it's got to be flexible. So I'm going to have a rubber section in between. Because once again, the vibrations, I really don't know, but I don't want to mechanically hard link these two together. So something over, and I've been racking my brains, and I have no skills with welding, so at some stage I bought these. Just let me check you can see them. Yep, I bought these. They're off a GY6, whatever that is. And I thought, well, maybe I could, put that on there. Well, those holes don't line up at all that way because the holes are line up there and there. So you can buy these adapter things. And so you screw them into the holes and then you can reuse holes wherever you want. So I could do that. Now, that makes it awfully high on the wrong angle. So my thinking is, okay, if I get two of these and put them together, I could have it like that. But that's even without the adapter plate. Okay, so I've got to machine that down, but there's no point machining down this angle. I'd have to machine down at this angle. So I could fill that in with JB Weld here and then just machine it flat and then maybe cut something in to put a new bolt and and it's all possible, but option one. I could get a long piece of pipe and lobster back the thing and then put it on a plate. My my fantastic welding skills. Another plan was, I've done a bit of fiberglassing in my day, so you can get this foam stuff that you can build up. You can just, like when you get a bunch of flowers that comes in those squares where the flowers, it's all that material, and you shape it, and then fiberglass on the outside of it, and then just melt it out with petrol. So I could just hand shape what I wanted, and then I could make something like that. I could make it work. So I could make carbon fibre just to make it look schmicky. I could make one out of carbon fibre, and possible. One more round of Bunnings to see what I could find. Just mindlessly walk around, see if I could get some pipe and all that sort of stuff. And I came across these, which are 3/4 water pipe. It's already got a bend, and I could cut that off closer, any height I want. It's not quite the right size on the outside, inside here, but that's okay. That's because it's got thread. Okay, so now that I've made a decision on which system I'm going to use first, that's roughly where the hole is and the two mounting points. So I guess I'd make a plate there. Plate's not hard to do, so I'm not going to bother about that first. I could bring that down. I can just cut that off there and put the plate on, and just because it's slightly off centre, so it's slightly off, I could probably fit a bolt down there. So that's reduced the amount of filing I have to do, so that's all good thing. And I still got the bend. This goes through the air very fast, but it's easier than filing, that's for sure. To give myself every chance of getting this right, that tube is slightly narrower, so I've packed it out so I can hold everything nice and tight. It lines up pretty nicely. What have I got going on here? Inside there, that's even enough, so... Oh. as an exercise in can I stick it together, I think the answer to that is yes, but it's hot. But will that hold 1 bar of boost at the moment? I'd say not. I just got to keep working it. How am I going to check if it holds there? holds there? I've got no idea. I guess I'll find out later. But I'm encouraged. Well, seeing I got the 1 mil to hold together, I felt confident. I turned the amps down and I went with my 2.5 mil ones, and I've got to find if there's any water leaks, or air leaks, but I'll stick water in there, but it looks like I've got it. I shoved the cork in the end and filled it with soapy water. Soapy water is thinner than regular water because the soap breaks it down, so I can't see any leaks. Might not be a big deal to you, but it's a big deal to me. Something I want to do before I put a plate on here, because I presume once I put a plate on there, and if I do any other welding, it could warp that plate, which would make a bad seal. So I have a little pop-off valve coming, a tiny one, only needs a 7 mil hole, and it's similar looking to this, but it has a little screwy thing on top, and I can wind it up and wind it down. And I want it to pop off from 1 bar, and I can tap that later on to suit it, but I want to weld it before I do the plate so I don't warp it. So I'll groove that out slightly, and I'll see if I can do some airtight welding around there. I know exactly what that line across there means. It means I've missed it completely. I just don't know how to do these. I'm going to try again, but what really worries me is I blow a hole in there. It's going to be really hard to clean the inside of it, to make it smooth on the inside. I can get in there, but you know, I'd rather just not blow holes in there. I'm so good at blowing holes in things. Here we go. See it again, a line. This time I think I've got it on the top side, and this time round I weld it on the top, and watch this. I just don't know. Okay, this is the last time. If I can't do it, I'll just do strips, clean it off, strips, and sort of build a lump of weld up or something like that. If I don't get it this time, I'll give up and try something else. I don't know, I could see a line across there, and look, it's starting to, I think I was getting close to burning it through. No, same again, watch this. I'll clean it off, 3rd time, and I'll just do layers of weld. This is what I mean by layers of weld. Well, I did it, you know, and this is first clean-up. I'm not going to take it any further because I don't know what I want yet. I don't know if I'm going in the top, I don't know if I'm going in there or there, maybe 2, I don't know. So I'll leave it at that, and there's a bit of, just right there, it's a bit of a bulge. But I'll clean it up when I've done the bottom flange on there. Well, I don't think I can do any more for setting it up. Like I've got those lines all lined up. So it's now I'm clamped it down, it's tight, and you know, just my total inability to weld angles, right angles. the glow is even. There's no line across the glow, so there's a chance. Look at all that shitty stuff there from the galvanising, but I did clear off where I was welding. Ooh, a little bit chancy. Come on, come on. Oh, look at that, bloody thing moves. Clean it all up. Okay, this time I've gone back to a big welding rod and it's in the bag. I know it, I can feel it, just a matter of doing it. No, I can see a line all the way across there. Whatever I did. Alright, no more camera. I've now thrown tons of welding rods at it and grinding wheels, and I think I'm about ready for my final cleanup. There's still a few persistent holes. I really don't have a good idea what's going on underneath there. I tried sticking a welding rod in there and grinding it out, welding it just over and over, but I'll do that bit of a clean up now and see what I end up with. Hopefully it'll be something usable. To get like the hole in here, because there was only a hole this size, I drilled some holes, as you can see, and then just put punch in there and just so that just bends it out of the way. So all this is just, I ground it down with this. And then just to finish it off, I'm just going with a Dremel and just a sanding wheel. I put a cork in the end and filled it full of soapy water, and I have a drip. And I found where the drip is coming from. Oops, where am I? Coming out of, you can't see it, but I can. It's coming out of that hole. Well, I patched it and the bloody thing's leaking everywhere. This is now the 4th time, and every time I weld it, it's dripping out of that spot. Oh, where is the torch? That spot right there. I grind it off, I'll make it all smooth, I weld it, and there's a new hole appears, and that holes are guaranteed to leak. 6 times I've chased that hole down, welded it, ground it out, welded it, and I'm getting really close to the edge of that material there. If I dig any deeper, I'll just put a hole in this. It's only 2 mil thick, and it just keeps going. Hopefully that's got enough, but I'm starting to go underneath it and it's not that thick, but that looks like a hole next to it as well, so I'm going to dig a bit further around the corner with a big grinder. Well, I hope that's got it. Now this is the hole I started chasing. Pretty well got it to the base. That's the base there, and that's what goes underneath. You know, a little old weld from there to there, how hard can it be? Should be easy peasy. Good start. Right, what's it going to do? Oh, I don't like that. Cooling down slow in that area. Not always a good sign. I've spent days on this thing so far. Come on. Don't be a prick. What have I got? crap right there. That just looks disgusting. And yet it looks so nice. I just dig it out again. It just keeps going. Well, I've cleaned it up again, and I've managed to do what I was destined to do. I've blown a big hole in it. I thought I'd go with a series of spot welds and just, like melt a bit here, clean it up, melt a bit there, clean it up, melt a bit, clean, work my way to that hole. So I put the welding rod here, but for some reason it just through magic in the air, it jumped up there and just welded up and down there, even though the rod was just dig it out again. Over. Well, the idea is just a little one up here, and I've been thinking, I feel like life is trying to teach me something that I'm bloody mindedly refusing to learn. So I think I have to go through this. Oops. Look at that, smooth, but you can see it. I said that the red spots, you can see one thing there and one thing there. I bet you the weld's just in the middle, and either side of that is slag. Spot on, look at that. Well, I'm learning one thing. I'm learning how to read what the slag tells me. Okay, we're ready again, cleaned off once more. I'll just go for, just stick that underneath there. That's just the gap between there and there. Anyway, I'm going to just go for something around here. Hopefully I can achieve something. And then if that's all good, then I'll try this bit out. This is the last time with the camera. This is just my life. It goes on and on. So I'll try for something. I'll try something different this time. I won't move the welding rod. I'll just stick it to there and just let it go. Right, I just pushed the welding rod into it, and straight away, don't know about that bit, but I saw a line here, and I saw a line there. Now the slag says nice even coverage, look at that, just all nice and smooth. Does that mean that's what it's going to be? We shall see. Oops. You ready? Why change when you don't have to? Well, I still seem to have a leak. I've plugged it, but watch this. Come on, you can do it. You've been doing it so far. There we go. Just comes straight out. So somewhere, even though it's welded somewhere, it's all wet now, there's the drips on the bottom. It's just leaking out. Like the whole bloody thing's porous. Well, I've done it. I've got no more leak, well, one leak. It's ugly as sin, but that's because it's just layer on layer. But I'll give you an example of what the problem is. See this there was no hole here. I was just chasing something out and I got a nice flow and covered all over. And I was coming up here and there was no hole here, but then as soon as you stop welding, it just, you can see a dot on the slag and there'll be just a round circle on the slag, and then cracks appear. So it just makes holes. I don't think that's me at all. I think that's because this is cast. It's just not regular steel. It just makes cracks and a hole. It just makes it itself. So wherever you weld, you always end up with a hole when you finish welding because it just makes them itself. Weirdest thing. I'm going to call that a failure. I've been thinking about it. If it just creates its own cracks, I can't use it. And look what I've done inside there. Just all the bloody places I've nearly burnt through trying to repair it. And I've got that underneath there, look at that. That's just, how I want to get in there with this sort of material, I just don't know. It solves a lot of problems. It makes a really tight U-bend, which I really need. I really need a very tight U-bend and then heading out here and a really tight one in there. I don't know, I think I have to rethink the whole concept.